I've talked about it, and everyone else that covers college basketball talks about this incoming draft class, how it's probably going to compete with the 96 and 2003 classes as one of the best of all time. When you're hearing this every day and you're a
Yeah.
team that's currently 12 and 38 and your season is over, what are you supposed to do? Welcome back to Two Generations, One Mic. Good episode in store today. We have All-Star Weekend reactions, stuff going on with the Miami Dolphins roster. Arizona loses back-to-back. Winter Olympics are getting good. Good to be with you here, Pat.
Hey, bud. Looking forward to it. We got a really good show. Don't forget, we had a big golf weekend.
Big
We had
golf.
the Daytona 500. Don't forget the Daytona 500. Don't sleep on that.
All right, and then before we dive into the NBA, we have to see Pat's jersey this week.
Oh man. Uh, your mom's going to have to pry this off to make sure that I don't walk around with this jersey on all day long because I can't actually, this is the first time I've actually worn a Quebec Nordiques jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, I think it was at the top of my rankings for when we did the best hockey logos. This is my all-time favorite hockey logo, possibly all-time favorite logo overall. But either way,
Wow.
check out this old Nordiques jersey.
That's pretty
That
cool.
thing is pretty awesome. We
Yep.
got Owen Nolan today.
Owen Nolan.
And Owen Nolan, so when I was out at Santa Clara, Ben, he was playing for the San Jose Sharks, but he was originally drafted and played for the Quebec Nordiques. So just some information about Owen Nolan that's kind of interesting. Born in February of 1972 and actually in Belfast, Northern Ireland. He was in the 1990 NFL draft, taken the Quebec Nordiques draft pick, their first draft pick. Played with them for 2 years, and then they moved in the 95. Well, I take that back. They moved from within the first couple of years of him being there. They moved from Quebec and became the Colorado Avalanche. Then in the 95-96 season, he was actually traded to the San Jose Sharks. His best year with the Sharks was the 99-2000 year, where he had 84 total points, and he was a real fixture in the Bay Area. In those years that he was there, when he was traded in 95-96 season, that was when I graduated from Santa Clara and was out there for a few more years before we moved back to South Dakota. And
Yeah.
he was a stalwart around there. He actually still owns two restaurants in San Jose, both
Wow.
called Britannia Arms. And actually, your uncle, my brother-in-law, Nick Stagnero, worked for him at Britannia Arms, which is kind of
Really?
interesting. Got to know him. He'd sit and have a few drinks with him. And
That's
so
funny.
that was kind of neat. So then he was traded to the Maple Leafs in 2003. Had some health issues while in his few years of tenure there with the Maple Leafs. Then kind of went through some series of trades. He went Coyotes, the Phoenix Coyotes, which no longer exist, Calgary Flames, Minnesota Wild, and then he ended his career on a Swiss team, and then officially retired in 2012. But he was an all-star in 92, 96, 97, 2000, and 2002. So he had a really, really good career.
Very solid.
Very solid. Was a great guy, like I said, in the San Jose area. So Owen Nolan today in my favorite jersey.
Love it. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great jersey.
Might wear that on the golf course today.
All right, so getting into the All-Star Weekend recap here. So Friday night we had the Celebrity All-Star Game and the Rising Stars game. And the Celebrity All-Star Game, it's whatever. One thing that stuck out to me is the fact that they had Taco Fall in there, who is not in the NBA right now, but currently a professional basketball player overseas. He's in his 20s, and as everyone knows with Taco Fall, he's 7'5". So he
Right.
finished with 21 points and 20 rebounds. I mean, what are your thoughts on bringing in an actual professional basketball player?
Well, I think it's insane because, first of all, he's going against the likes of, like when you and I were talking yesterday, Taylor,
Frankie
whatever her
Paul.
name is,
Yeah.
yeah, from Mormon Wives. I mean, how is that even entertaining?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know if they were on the same team, separate team. I don't understand it. I don't know. I mean, celebrity games are kind of hard to watch to begin with.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're trying to bring that into. I mean, they're doing everything they can, Ben, to jazz up the All Star game
Hmm.
across the whole thing. I mean, you look at how the game itself, which we'll get to, has
Yep.
actually changed formats and types and the style that they play in terms of now it's 4 mini games. You know, it's very different than it was back in my time. And if you even go a little bit before my time, like early 70s and whatnot, when, I mean, regardless of type of all-star game, you had like guys actually hated playing against each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see how all-star games have changed. I think the players know each other better now. You know, they with free agency changed all that, where they can move teams much more easily within whatever sport, football, basketball, baseball, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So players themselves are much more friendly with each other. But from the side games, you know, dunk contest, 3-point contest, all of that stuff has changed a lot.
Yeah. And getting into the Saturdays 3-point contest and dunk contest. The 3-point contest, I always think that one is so fun, whereas the dunk contest has been critiqued in the last 10 years due to just the caliber of players that are in it. But the 3-point contest, Damian Lillard wins it. We talked about last week. Hasn't played a single minute this season, which going into it, the more I thought about it, the more I realized he's going to win this thing because with his rehab, I'm guessing I don't see his rehab on a day-to-day basis, but I bet is it's primarily physical therapy and standstill shooting because that's what he does. So he's been practicing for this for the past 5 months now. So it was perfect for him. He doesn't have the wear and tear that these guys, other guys, have gone through playing. I think they're right around 55 games this season. So
Yep.
he wins it. Booker almost beats him. He had 3 shots to tie him in the final round, missed all three. So that was sad for Devin Booker. But for next year's 3-point contest, Damian Lillard posted a screenshot where he DM'd Steph Curry and he said, next year, dot, 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 you, me, Clay, Book, and 4 other real shooters. And Steph responded and said, yes, sir, I'm in. Clay will do it if I do it. And Book will be at home because the All Star game's in Phoenix.
Oh, it
So
is.
that'll
Okay.
be exciting to get Steph and Clay back into it next year, as well as
Well,
Damon Booker.
for sure. And with that is what some of this is going to take because what has happened if you go back to, and again, you've heard me talk about it on this show, best 3-point contest ever, mid 80s, Bird in his warm-up jersey, sitting in the locker room beforehand saying
Hmm.
who's going to finish second, last money ball down one, shoots it, finger up. I mean, nothing beats that. And then, you know, you go. So the, that's what it's gonna. And now, because a lot of those guys are not doing it anymore. Same with the dunk contest. You just need to get the names back in. You know, the '86. I believe it was the '86 All Star Game in Chicago at the old Chicago Stadium. And it was just an all out battle in the dunk contest between Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. And that is epic. I mean, you still go back and watch that. And they weren't doing all of the crazy antics the today's dunk contest requires. I mean,
Hmm.
from an entertainment standpoint, that's what it takes. But the place was electric, and Jordan and Wilkins were flying all over that gym, and just power jams. Wilkins did a throw off the backboard and just jumped up and windmill slammed the thing so hard it was unbelievable. I'll never forget it. And I mean, if you think about it, I was 13 years old and I remember it like it was yesterday. It's so cool. And so it's going to take these guys, the big names, talking to each other and going, let's get back into this thing. I mean, that's fun. Good for Dame for doing that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so the dunk contest, let's move on to that. So this year it was Keyshawn Johnson, Carter Bryant, Jackson Hayes, and Jace Richardson. Jackson Hayes and Jace Richardson, that was tough to watch. Keyshawn and Carter had some good dunks, but overall it was a little bit of a down year in the dunk contest compared to what we saw the last 3 years with Mac McClung, which was super cool. My
Right.
issue with the dunk contest is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been going on for, I don't know when exactly it started, but let's call it 70s or 80s, right? So it's been going
Well, it
on,
did. Julius Irving did it.
yeah, so 70s for sure. So it's been going on for the better part of 50 years now. What haven't we seen yet in the dunk contest? That's my issue. Like you just said, Dominique had that awesome dunk where he throws it off the window and does the windmill. I
Yep.
If someone did that today, that dunk would probably be in the low 40s just because we've seen so much now in years past. I, it's just hard. You can only do so much stuff.
Right, right, and that's true. I mean, you've seen a lot of those dunks. I mean, Jordan did a dunk again. I'm going back, but that's my job here.
Hmm.
Is he came down, came along the baseline, and just kind of went up and hung with his body at about an angle like that, and then flew in like that. I mean, we'd never seen anyone fly like that before.
Yep.
So you bring up a very good point that I actually hadn't really thought of, is that the fact that we hadn't seen stuff like that done
Hmm.
ever. So now for a guy to fly in and do that, is that it's really not that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying in that, um, when you've seen it for 50 years, I mean it's old hat.
We've seen everything. Yeah.
That's true. And then you've got the skills competition and that sort of thing. Did they do that again this year?
We had the Shooting Stars this year, which was a shooting competition. It was two current players and an older player. For example, I this was the one I watched the least, but one of the teams it was Dylan Harper, Ron Harper Jr., and Ron Harper Sr. They were one of the teams in
Oh,
it. They didn't win it though. It
yeah.
was one of the other teams, but I, they just shot from 7 spots. The last spot was half court. It was kind of annoying, but yeah, whatever.
I mean, I think that it would be if we're in the future on a future episode, if we're sitting there with a down week of just or sports in general, sit around and try to just brainstorm what would you do to enhance an all-star game. The NBA isn't the only one facing this stuff. I mean,
No.
if the NFL has actually gotten rid of their All Star game or Pro Bowl as theirs. I mean, they don't even play it anymore. Now
Well,
they
they do
now
the
they
flag
have,
football. Yeah.
well, yeah, you have flag football and then you have their skills stuff and things like that. I mean, so it's I don't know. It's kind of interesting
Yeah.
what you do. And then I'm just, when we get to the game we can talk about that too on how you enhance that.
Yeah. So the format was obviously new this year. We had the USA Stars team, the USA Stripes team. One was an older team, one was a younger team, and then the World team. And I watched probably 80% of the entire thing because it was 4 games, each a quarter long. And I'll be honest, it was pretty exciting this year. Two of the games came down to like buzzer beater game winners. So that was cool. The problem is the championship. It was the USA Stripes and the USA Stars, and the old guys. Because it's a four-game format, and the All-Star game's obviously for entertainment. There's a bit of space in between each game, so I mean, you're not constantly running around like a four-quarter game. So you could tell the old guys just couldn't quite get their legs back under them compared to the young guys where you have Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey just darting all over the floor. So the young guys won it by, I think it was 21 points, and Anthony Edwards wins All Star Game MVP. But this new format seemed to fix a little bit of that effort thing. But my question is it just exciting because it's year one of it, or does this actually fix it?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, I want to hand it to the NBA for just, trying something different.
Hmm.
Two, I want to hand it to Wemby. I mean, he looked like he was trying to beat the heck out of everybody that he was playing. And I think that's awesome
Yeah.
because the last few years that I've watched when it was just the old way of
Hmm.
one whole game and it was, 190 to 200,
Yeah.
and the guys are all friends and they're, no one's playing defense. They're bouncing it, bounce it on the ground up high so a guy can come in and dunk. He was out there blocking everybody he could. Was mad when he missed a defensive play and somebody hit a 3-pointer. Um, if you could generate that fire again, I'm going to go back to what I was saying back in like the early 80s. I'll never forget in the baseball all-star game when Pete Rose was coming around and just piled into whoever the catcher was. I can't remember what year the game was, but I mean, could have taken him out. And that was when they didn't like each other. And the NBA guys back in the day, back in the Bird at Boston and Magic in LA, that era, I mean, they didn't like each other, and the
Hmm.
teams didn't like each other. The East didn't like the West, and guys stayed longer at where they were.
Hmm.
Um, I also think something that's changed it a little bit is the dollars that these guys are earning from their teams. And when you're talking about that, the risk of getting hurt in technically an exhibition game,
Yeah.
uh, you know, you, I can understand the desire to not get hurt in a game that actually really doesn't mean anything. Baseball tried to change it and make the winning team or the winning all-star team, that side has home field advantage in the World Series. I'll be honest, I don't know if that is even still in play, but um, I think that's great. I mean, trying to put something into it so you get some semblance of an effort from the guys playing.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Um, the MLB All Star Game that is no longer in effect. The
Well,
home field advantage, which it's too bad because you're right that used to have guys going hard. No, but I agree. It was cool to see Wemby trying hard. He just got screwed over being on Team World because Jokic and Luka are just coming back off injuries.
right.
They played low minutes, and when they did play, they weren't trying super hard. And I'll give credit to the young USA team, though. Every guy on their team was going hard. Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Tyrese Maxey. They were all trying, and you could tell they wanted to win it. Devin Booker, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then,
hoping this new generation coming in, that old generation that you're talking about, excuse me, and you said last week, how do you feel about a LeBron KD elevate, that level of player coming in, getting put on the All-Star game where they've been in the league for years and years and years and pretty much know everybody. of that
Hmm.
generation and the generation a little bit below. And so they're all buddies. And you have these younger guys coming in, and it does feel like this younger group is kind of saying, "Hey, let's make this competitive again. I mean, let's go out and beat these guys." And I think that's great.
Yeah. It is just hard though, being LeBron. You're 23 here, and you've played in enough playoff games where it adds up to another 3 seasons. I can't imagine what his body must feel like, and
Oh,
being like, Is this what I'm gonna go try hard in right now?" When you're just trying to
yeah,
make it to each game, it's
completely
gotta be
agree.
brutal. Yeah.
Yep,
And
completely agree.
then the last NBA point I want to bring up. So we're currently in the week-long break right now, where the players take a rest.
Right,
So
right.
off the court, Adam Silver the other day had to address tanking issues. The Utah Jazz and Indiana Pacers got fined for benching players that possibly weren't actually hurt. Which it's funny because the Utah Jazz, the game they fined them for, the Utah Jazz actually won the game. So that was, but they benched Markkanen in the fourth quarter. So that was funny. But my question to you is: tanking just a part of team building, or does the NBA actually need to do something to eliminate it?
Well, and they tried to do that, by having the
Play in?
well, and the lottery, you
Yeah.
know, by being the losingest team in the league does not guarantee you the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And so, they're trying everything they can. I don't know. Obviously the losingest team gets the best odds for getting the first.
Top three teams have the same odds.
Yeah. So I don't know how you. I will be honest, Ben. I don't have a good idea on how you fix that. I think it's brutal. I think it's when you have fans paying what would be interesting is if the NBA came in and said, if you're the losingest team, we dictate what your season ticket prices are, and you're going to be the lowest season ticket price in the league.
Yeah.
Something like that, where you I mean, that would motivate me to try. I'll tell you that as an ownership group and a management group. I mean, I sure as heck don't want have to have the lowest price tickets in the league. You obviously want to charge as much as you can. I don't know. It's something that you have to be careful in every league,
Mm-hmm. I
since drafting is related to your record.
Yeah, it's hard because all year I've talked about it, and everyone else that somewhat covers college basketball talks about this incoming draft class, how it's probably going to compete with the 96 and 2003 classes as one of the best of all time. When you're hearing this every day and you're a team
Yeah,
that's currently 12 and 38 or whatever the number is, and your season is over, there's basically no shot of you making the playoffs. What are you supposed to do?
yeah, yeah.
You need one of these top three picks. And the Indiana Pacers, their pick this year is protected 1 through 4 and 10 on. You got to have a bottom three record to get one of these top four picks, or else you're losing this pick to the Clippers. So it it is hard. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is.
I don't either. I don't either. But it's obviously an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we said this before. I mean, being a fan when you got your home team going through that process, oh man, that's brutal.
Mm-hmm. Um. All right, let's shift gears here. Big news yesterday in the NFL. So the Dolphins released Tyreek Hill as well as Bradley Chubb, who's one of their top defensive guys. So it looks like the Dolphins are heading for a major reset here. Tyreek Hill tore his ACL on September 29th. So based on the math of an ACL, 9 to 12 months, he'll probably be not 100%, but good to go for next season. Uh, it's going to be interesting what he does.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get you put your agent to work. I mean, that's where the agent has to go out and earn his money, his or her money, and start to talk to everyone around the league and see what they can find. That's the danger of becoming such a issue behind the scenes within your team's locker room and whatnot. I can't I just remember reading some stuff about off the field
Yep.
issues and stuff like that, and things things surrounding his baggage, let's say, and that so then when suddenly you're out free trying to earn a job, and all of this information is out there about you, and you're on the downward side of your career, that becomes kind of a tough sell.
Yeah, I bet someone's going to sign him because he's too talented not to get signed. Even if he comes back at 85% of what he was, he's still one of the fastest players in the NFL at that level.
For sure. What I'm talking about is the actual dollar amount that you can earn.
I'm curious too because he was on the Chiefs, didn't get offered the money he wanted to because the Chiefs had so much money tied up elsewhere. He went and
Right.
got his big payday with the Dolphins, but never got past I don't think he got past the wild card weekend of the playoffs with them. So I
Oh,
wonder if he's willing to take a pay cut here to go to a true contender, whether it's the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, someone like that, to go back to winning here since he got his
well,
money.
that's the question. But he's also won. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So, I mean, he's had that. So now the question is just in a person's gut. I mean, do you want to win or do you want to get as much money as you can? Because most likely it'll be a team that's trying to really kind of up and come that would give him the top dollar,
Yep.
or someone that's already got a lot of pieces in place and needs a second string wide receiver that would go, here's what we'll offer you, take it or leave it.
Yeah. And maybe because he's won, he knows what that feeling's like. And now that he hasn't won in so long, he has that itch to get back to it. You,
True.
you just don't know what he's thinking. Yeah.
No,
And then,
exactly. And it's what's in your heart.
yeah. And then Tua, so nothing official, but reports I've been seeing, he's on his massive contract. Even if the Dolphins are willing to take on the majority of it, a trade is unlikely. No one would want to trade for him. So it's looking like it's trending towards a release right now, which it's crazy to think about that it was just 2 years ago they signed him to the,
Yeah.
was it a
That
5 or 4 year, whatever it was, but basically 50 million a year.
yep. Yeah, that's insane.
Now he's getting released.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. And I don't remember what's guaranteed out of that. It was a bunch.
A healthy amount, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious to see if someone, even if he is released and gets signed elsewhere, if he's even in the competition for a starting job or if teams view him as a backup at this point.
Right. Right. That's tough. That's tough. I don't know. I think that he could be a starter somewhere.
I, yeah, I just want to see him 1 year in a different system just to see
Right.
was it him or was it the Dolphins?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. I
Um,
mean, he'll compete. There's always someone looking for, a veteran to come in when they hire a young quarterback, and then they have some
mhm.
some semblance of a competition during um, the preseason stuff.
Vikings.
Jeez Louise. What the heck? What the heck?
Yeah.
Why not?
And then you found a very interesting stat yesterday that blew me away. So the Patriots this year, the Super Bowl bound Patriots, 1.13 points per offensive drive this year. The 2017 Browns that went 0-17, 1.22 points per offensive drive. That
Yeah.
that shocked me when you sent me that. I
Isn't
really
that
couldn't
crazy?
believe
And
it. Yeah.
I forget where I saw that, but it's it's just wild. So total points scored in the season divided by the number of drives that you had, every single
Mhm.
offensive drive that you had over the course of the whole season.
Yeah.
And they made, heck, they, yeah, like you said, made it to the Super Bowl and they had 1.13. 2017 Browns, 1.22 points per drive. That's
Yeah.
that's just wild to think that, because everyone's been talking about how easy New England's schedule was. Well, that says a lot right there.
hmm Yeah. Their defense and
That
their
kind of
schedule
backs
for
up that
sure.
narrative.
Yep. Yeah, just wanted to throw that stat in there. And then
Yeah.
taking a look, it was a pretty big weekend in college basketball. So I'll start it off here. Arizona loses their second straight. Tech, Texas Tech wins in overtime. That one was pretty
In McHale
heartbreaking.
Center, by the way.
In McHale, yep. Koa Pete, our second leading scorer, gets hurt in the second half, was out the rest of the game. Haven't heard yet how severe the injury was.
I was going to ask
So
you how bad that is.
yeah, I haven't heard anything yet.
That's too bad. That's too
Iowa
bad.
State blew out Kansas pretty good. It was about an 18-point win, I think, which is interesting because Darren Peterson was playing for Kansas that game, whereas the last game, Kansas beats Arizona without Darren Peterson. He's been so in and out of the lineup this year, and I watched a better part of that game, and it seems like the other Kansas players they play way more free when Darren Peterson's not in there. Whereas when Darren Peterson is, it's like they're nervous to go do something themselves and they feel like they have to get the ball to Darren.
Right.
So I mean, my question is Kansas better without Darren Peterson? Everyone else just
Probably.
looks way more comfortable out there when he's
Well,
not in the game.
think if you're on that team, Ben, and you're sitting there and you literally don't know as you're getting ready to go out for warm-ups if the kid's going to be playing or not. I mean, there have been times where he's been scratched, just before they're supposed to go out onto the court. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's got to be brutal in and of itself. And
hmm
then, all of this stuff of whether he actually is or isn't hurt, and
Yeah.
all this sort of thing. And then, then you've got a lot of baggage,
hmm
around what you're talking about. When he's on the court, they lose.
Yeah.
So, uh, all of this is adding up to what is it going to do to his draft stock? Now, in my opinion, a super talented player, regardless of baggage around that, is always going to get drafted because every team thinks that they can fix something that is potentially broken off the court. And that will obviously remain to be seen. But either way, Iowa State is for real.
Yeah, because last night they beat number two Houston at home,
Yep.
which
Yep.
it was a close game, won by three. Houston's so good, but man, I was watching that game. It Iowa State home fans come out. It was loud in there.
Oh,
I was
yes.
impressed. Yeah, which
College college basketball environments are the best.
the best. Yeah,
I mean, they are. They're way better than the. I mean, NBA stadiums are fun.
hmm
That's great. College football stadiums are fun, but they're just so vast. I mean, these college basketball, the fans are on top of the court. I
yeah,
mean, when you're throwing the ball in from out of bounds in some of these places, it's got to feel like the fan behind you is about ready to rip the ball out of your hands. I mean, it's
yeah.
just awesome. There isn't there That environment is so great.
Especially during the regular season, how loud it is. You're right. NBA, it does not get that loud during the regular season. Playoffs,
No,
though, get exciting. Last year, we went
playoffs
to
do get
the
exciting.
T-Wolves Thunder playoff game, and that was pretty loud in there.
It was loud and fun, and you think
Yep.
back to Ray Allen hitting that shot that we were talking about the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That 3-pointer for the Heat. I think it was against San Antonio, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. Um, so yeah, I mean, and college basketball in general, obviously, really heating up. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and then this one just kind of made me laugh. So, UNC beat Pitt on Saturday, and then earlier last week, Caleb Wilson for UNC, who's projected to go number 4 in ESPN's latest mock draft, fractures his hand against Miami, comes back in the game with it wrapped, but then is announced that he'll be out indefinitely. So hopefully he's back by tournament time. It just cracked me up seeing Caleb Wilson come back with the fractured hand compared to all this Darren Peterson stuff.
Totally, totally. I mean, it just shows the guts of the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
No,
awesome.
he competes. Yeah. And then a
Absolutely.
brutal one. BYU's been on a little bit of a cold spell lately. Lost 4 in a row. Won some close games that they should have won by more in, and then now their main vet Richie Saunders tears his ACL on Saturday. So
Ugh.
just brutal for BYU.
Yeah. I mean, they were cold. They were, going through a little bit of a down stretch, but, they could have been a force. Not that they necessarily won't be, but, obviously it's much more desirable to have him in the lineup. Um, so, anybody can get hot, and run through their conference tournament and then the NCAA tournament. But boy, you just hate to see that.
It is helpful. Him as I forget, he's either 5th year or 6th year, and he's been in the tournament before. Just having that
Yes.
leadership on your team. Whereas
Huge.
now your two best guys are Rob Wright III and AJ DeBonsa, who are so good, but just neither of them have been in the tournament before. So,
Right. Because we've always talked about that. I always like in the first round, I always take a lower conference, just veteran team because
yep.
that's going against a high seed, a 1, 2, or a 3 or a 4, just because there's a good chance those vets, are able to, or older players that have been playing college basketball for 3 and 4 years,
Yeah.
just know little nuances about the game. So
Quick word from our sponsor. Looking to transform your outdoor space or start your next project on solid ground? Urban Oasis in Sioux Falls, South Dakota is your go-to team for landscaping, excavation, and concrete work. From residential to commercial, new construction to remodels, no job is too big or too small. Whether you're building from the ground up or upgrading what you already have, Urban Oasis delivers quality craftsmanship you can trust. Call Gavin Cotter today at 605-419-2777 and turn your vision into reality with Urban Oasis, where your project finds its foundation. Kicking it over to the Winter Olympics right now. So the USA is currently 3rd in the total medal count, with Norway being 1st and Italy being 2nd. So U.S. gaining some ground here. Men's hockey 3-0. Canada's the only other 3-0 team, and then Sweden and Finland are 2-1. The hockey team's playing good.
The hockey team looks great. Women's hockey looks good. I mean, USA Hockey is performing at peak level. I mean, I forget what the final score was when the U.S. women played the Canadian women in their round robin sequence, but at one point they were up 5-0. So, and they're actually now they've gone through everything, and now USA and Canada women are going to meet in the final for the gold medal.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then one thing I wanted to touch on, the Going into this Winter Olympics, if you had told me that one of the biggest on court controversies would be curling, I would have called you crazy. But Sweden and Canada get into it over a rules violation the other day because I just learned curling is self officiated. The Canadian guy was touched the stone when it was past the what's the line called?
Hogline.
The hog line. Yeah, and Sweden saw it, called him out. Canada denied it. They started swearing at each other, which I also learned it's very frowned upon to swear in curling. It was just hilarious to see this interaction.
Totally. Well, first of all, if swearing is not allowed in curling, I'm in real trouble if
Yeah.
I were to be playing it. But and it was borderline with the hog line. Whether there's a actually a camera angle that I've seen now since that is literally right. It's kind of like the goal line cam in the NFL, and it's right across the hog line. What he did, even whether it did or didn't go over the hog line with him touching it, he double touched it. So
Yep.
he's holding the handle, lets go, and then his finger actually does touch the side of the rock. So it's off the handle, and then he pushes the rock with his pointer finger. It's
Yeah.
plain as day. What's interesting, Ben, though, is I saw an interaction live watching last night with the
Mm-hmm.
women, and it was the USA women against the Italy women.
Yep.
And it was really kind of interesting. So USA throwing the rock, down it goes, and one of the USA women, one of the sweepers, was going like crazy in front of the rock and kind of got her feet tangled and or the broom for a split second like stuck to the ice, whether she was pushing too hard or whatever happened,
Yeah.
and the stone actually bumped just barely. It was very slight, but it did bump. It actually touched the broom, and
Mm-hmm.
then kind of veered off course a little bit. And the Italy player, called attention to it. The two of them talked, and it was kind of interesting because the Italian team was all talking Italian, and this woman spoke English, so she would talk to the U.S. and then turn. I don't know if the other teammates maybe couldn't speak English. I don't know, but she would turn and then converse in Italian, then come
Mm-hmm.
back and whatever. And it was kind of neat. They all worked it out, and what they did was they actually moved the stone where they thought it would have finished.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was neat, but
Wow.
it didn't get heated. It did. They just kind of worked through it. At one point, the USA woman said, you guys you know, just do whatever you think or whatever. And she said, nope. And it was kind of cool. The Italian woman goes, nope, we'll work through this together. I mean, it was really kind of cool.
The fact that the sport is self officiated absolutely blows my mind.
In today's day and age, and why they don't at least let the two teams come over and do a review of, like show a replay.
This is a national competition. This is the Olympics. I think you need to have a ref out there. People want this is an Olympic. I know not everyone's competing for a gold medal, but like you are competing for Olympic medals here. People are too competitive. You need to have some kind of ref out there. It,
Yeah,
I just think it's insane.
yeah.
But I know curling's not the most intense sport, if you want to call it that. I don't know, but I feel like for everything now, you need to have some kind of official ref reviewing film, whatever it is, just to make sure all the rules are properly enforced. But
Well, and I know what you're trying to say, and it's not necessarily intensity is necessarily the word you're looking for. It's more like stuff doesn't happen super quick.
yeah,
So, it's not like quote unquote bang bang plays in the NFL where
yeah,
you, you know you're saying I know it's not the most action packed,
fast
but it
paced, yeah, whatever, yeah.
it is super intense. And
No,
I'll
it
tell you
is.
what, with some of these teams do, men and women, when the house is full of stones. I think that's what it's called, where the little target is. I think it's
Yeah.
called the house. And they'll like do a triple ricochet,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing. It's
No, it is.
amazing. And I will say, I have curled before in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Went up to visit a friend, and we went to a curling place, and I curled. It is incredibly hard. The way they so easily glide on one foot with one leg back, impossible. I couldn't do it. And they have
Yeah.
this. So at this place, they have this little stand that you hold with one hand, and then you have the stone with the other hand, or rock or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
so that you can balance yourself. The way
Yeah.
they do it, incredible. It's incredible.
No, and I've had that's one of the sports I've watched the most this Winter Olympics. I'm not trying to discredit it at all, but
Oh no, I
it
know
is,
you're not.
it is just less, it's slower pace compared to other
That's
sports
what
where self officiating would not work at all.
that's what you're talking about. Yep, yep,
All
yep.
right, taking a look at golf here.
Oh wait, one
Uh,
other thing.
yes.
A USA woman, Elena Myers Taylor, won the mono bobsled competition for the gold medal and beat the silver medalist by 4/100ths of a second. I mean,
Wow.
that is incredible. And I'll be honest, this was the first time I've ever watched mono bobsled. I'm used to
Yeah.
the two and the four-person bobsled, but this is just one person in the bobsled, and it's incredibly hard because you don't have a brakeman behind you. Um,
Hmm.
so she won the gold for the U.S., which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golf here. So Colin Morikawa wins it at Pebble Beach. This ends
Yep.
in 28-month drought for him. You watch this more than I do, and you're kind of our in-house golf expert. So, what did you see at
Well,
Pebble?
so it was pretty exciting, Ben. It was a packed leaderboard, and
Hmm.
you're on one of the most iconic golf courses in the world in Pebble Beach,
Yep.
and it's kind of crazy. The weather was not looking great at the beginning of the week, so some of the video of the players during the practice rounds, like hole number 17 is a par three, and they were hitting. The wind was coming, and it goes right towards the ocean where and the green sits on the ocean, and they were sitting there hitting drivers. Now,
Yeah.
not full swing, I mean, but drivers, and they were trying to hit the green with drivers. It was so windy, it was kind of crazy. Weekend ends up actually being decent, and the sun was kind of popping in and out. The wind
Yeah.
would kind of come in and then die down and so on, and the leaderboard just was shifting all over. But out comes Scotty Scheffler making a move. I think he shot a 63,
Wow.
eagled three of the four par fives.
That's
And
crazy.
when he was seven under through seven holes coming out of the gates. And he
Jeez.
began the day, shoot, forgive me, I'm going to say like, I forget how many shots out he was, but crept up. And then at one point, he was tied for the lead, which was kind of neat. But he was 6 or 7 holes ahead of the leaders. Um, he started the day 8 back, shot 63, had a 30 on the front nine, and that was with a bogey.
Hmm.
So that was pretty cool. Um, just running down the scoreboard. So Colin finishes at 22 under, Minwoo Lee 21 under, tied with Sepp Straka, and then Scotty and Tommy Fleetwood were, let's see, that's one T2. So they were T4 at minus 20.
Gotcha.
So great, great weekend of PGA golf. I'm glad it turned out well for them because the weather was potentially sketchy at best.
Hmm.
Bridgman, kind of an up and comer, had a chance to be. It was I forget when he teed off on 18 if he was in the lead or had a chance to jump into the lead if he would birdie or eagle 18. Hits a nice drive into the fairway, pulls his second shot left. So 18, for those that don't know, it wraps completely around the ocean. Par five, puts his drive in the fairway, hooks his second shot left down actually onto the beach, and you can go down and play it from the beach. And he tried, and so he's kind of actually behind the green, uh, laterally, but behind the green, and tried to kind of go out and around the grandstand that was sitting there, and it kicked off the grandstand into the ocean, or I forget what it hit.
Oh,
And so that kind of blew his chances. Then he had to go out and drop. So he was hitting his fifth shot into the green, and then actually made a nice bogey save putt. So anyway, it was fun to watch. There was some live golf in Adelaide in Australia, and Anthony Kim began the day. Let's see, he was 4 or 5 shots out of the lead with Rahm and Bryson leading.
mm-hmm.
In round four, Anthony Kim was 9 under, Rahm was 1 under, and Bryson was 2 over. Ends up winning by
Wow.
3 shots. So that was pretty cool. He's been in Live now. I think this is his second year, and finally got a win. So that was kind of neat. He's kind of an interesting story. Played on the PGA Tour a number of years ago. Up and coming young guy. Supposedly had some injury stuff and literally disappeared off the face of the earth. He was on the Ryder Cup team. Took
Yeah.
down Sergio Garcia when Sergio was at his prime. Stared him down, beat him in singles on Sunday during the Ryder Cup. They were at Valhalla in Kentucky, and just disappeared. Supposedly had a huge insurance policy on himself that he enacted when he left because he was starting to have some injuries apparently,
Mm-hmm.
and just fell off the face of the earth. And the story was if he came back to play golf, he would have to pay back the insurance policy. Worked something out with Liv here last year. Has been playing. Came out with a lot of fanfare relative to Live Golf,
Yeah.
and really hadn't done much, and then won this. So that was actually pretty cool.
His first win since 2010. That's pretty
Yeah,
crazy. 16
yeah.
years.
Isn't that crazy? I mean,
Yeah.
it's nuts. 16 years.
And then last bit of sports here. Daytona 500 happened this weekend.
Oh,
Tyler Reddick wins it. Never led until the final lap due to
yeah.
a couple late crashes. That was pretty
So,
crazy.
point of note that you'll like, his car is owned by Michael Jordan and Denny
Hmm.
Hamlin. They call it the 2311 Team 2311. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Daytona is one of the few tracks where they race with restrictor plates. So what that does is it it's relative to gas and air going into an engine. That's all I know. And so it keeps the cars bunched up versus
Yeah.
other tracks when they race without the restrictor plate and they kind of get spaced out. They race 500 miles. It's like that at Talladega as well, where they are in a bunch the entire time. And it is actually really thrilling to watch. And it came down to the last few laps,
Hmm.
and everyone is always waiting for the big one, they call it. And that's going to be like a big crash. They're cruising around, and what was happening in NASCAR racing, they would have crashes within like 1, 2, or 3 laps of the finish. Yellow flag comes out, and then it would finish while you're on a pace lap, which is so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Well, a number of years ago, NASCAR changed it where if there is a yellow flag comes out, if a caution flag comes out, within so much, I don't know the number of laps that it goes back, but within the last lap approaching, then they'll clear the crash and do one lap and then the final lap. Well, once you hit the last lap, then you're going to go. And if a crash happens on the last lap, that's going to be it. Well, just after they get past the start finish line to begin the last lap, there's a crash.
Hmm.
The few guys that were ahead of the crash continue racing. They keep them green, which was actually really cool. And
Yeah.
they're all jockeying for position and all of this. And Reddick made a great move coming around one of the final turns and zips ahead. And these guys actually crash as they're approaching the start finish line to finish. And he was like the only car that passed the start
Yeah.
finish line, like driving. All the other guys slid across.
That's
It
funny.
was really cool. It's worth going back and watching on YouTube.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All
I used
right.
to watch a lot of NASCAR way back.
Yeah. Last segment here, this or that. If you could participate in any Olympic sport, what would it be?
Oh man, that is such a great question and so fitting for the 2 weeks that we're in here.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought I don't have any desire to do any downhill skiing or anything like that. That looks just totally insane.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I could figure skate. I don't think I could play hockey. I like the ice track sports, so like bobsled, luge, skeleton, that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. So I think I'm going to go with four-man bobsled. I think that would be a blast.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
What about you?
I'm torn between two. So, like I said earlier, I've watched a lot of curling this year, and I know
Yes.
you've done it. I've never done it, so
Yes.
I think that would be a ton of fun. And like you said, it's hard, but I could definitely figure it out more than like downhill skiing or something.
Oh, for
And
sure.
then the other one I would want to do would be the biathlon, where you're cross
Oh,
country skiing and then you're shooting the rifle. I I've skied before, I've shot a rifle before, but I've never done them together. So I think that one would be pretty fun.
that's
So,
so
but
good. I
I'll
mean,
go with
can you
curling.
imagine, Ben, trying to slow your heart rate after cross country skiing for however long they go, and then when they stop at the rifle range, which I don't even know how many times they do, go around the track and then have to come in and shoot three, four, 5 times, and then
Yeah,
it's 5 targets per time shooting.
yeah,
Trying to slow your heart rate when you've been just going like crazy on the cross country track,
hmm,
slow your heart rate so that you're not just I don't know, that's incredible.
yeah. I'd want to try it. It'd be cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that was fun.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Good episode this week. We're getting really close to March here. We got conference tournaments and March Madness coming up, so that'll be really fun to cover. NBA will be
So
back
good.
later this week. Yeah, a lot in store.
Oh,
Good to
it's
be with
going to
you,
be so
Pat.
good. Lots of stuff, bud.
Yeah,
I love you.
love you. Thanks everyone for listening. Remember to follow on TikTok and Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube to Gen One Mike Pod. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening.
Love you, bud. Talk to you later.
Yep.